Hello, everybody. Welcome, STARJUMP Skunkworks. Nice to see you all. It is June 21st, Sunday night. It's time for a Skunkworks Part 2 episode. This will be a continuance of last week's episode where we started to build out the Anvil carrier. We're going to continue that today. We do have some stuff we got to talk about, though, before we get to that. It's just the way it is. I try to some degree to keep the Star Citizen conversations cordoned off to certain type of shows. So ship stuff is, on Shipyard, Star Citizen General Squadron stuff on StarJump Station, and then Skunkworks is kit bashing. But look, can't all be perfect. Sometimes information has got to cross over. So we've got to talk about some news. Okay. Got to talk about some news. First, though, Art, how are you, buddy? Thanks for
Doing well, sir.
producing tonight, as you always do, and as you do sometimes. You do it on camera, which is totally fine.
I do it on camera. I'm really high for some reason. At least on the desktop audio, it looks like I'm redding out.
Are you peaking? Let me see here. Let me bring you down a little bit here. Let's do an audio check real quick. I'm coming in deliciously normal, I think. Give me an audio check.
Audio check. Checking audio.
You're a little high. Let me bring you down. It's okay. I'll control that. All right. Give me another audio check.
Audio check. Checking audio.
Okay. Everyone, how does Art sound? Does he sound okay? He's peaked in life. We all know that.
I've been hanging out with you. Heck yeah.
Yeah, he's peaked. It's all peaking at this point. Angron says it's actually June 22nd. Oh man, you're on the other side of the world. Okay, well, appreciate it. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight. So yes, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So we're going to take about probably a solid 30 minutes of the show to talk about some of that stuff right up at the front. Okay, so if you were hoping to get to the kit bashing right away, just be patient. We'll get back to that. You all know where we left off. Okay, we're going to have our 4 carrier sort of builds we had going. There was an A, B, C, and D option. I'm going to show you those. We're going to vote on those, and then we're going to sort of continue that build out. Today, I can tell you as well, it's going to be a lot of, it's going to be more white box sort of building. So we're going to sort of be sketching out general silhouette stuff. So just know that, but should be fun regardless. Should be fun. Hopefully these levels are good for everyone. I'm trying to get them balanced. We'll adjust as we go. Captain Kern says it's a little loud, but we'll try to adjust as we go. Everyone, just give me any feedback as we go. I'll try to do my best. So
I'm allowed to be loud.
He's allowed to be loud. That's true.
I'm allowed to be loud.
Okay. First, let's go ahead and get top of show stuff done, everyone. The first big one I want to go ahead and talk about is we've got the Tyilui giveaway. I almost said the Tyilui giveaway. Okay, that is going to be happening tonight. Okay, so you can get in on that. I am attempting something. I'm still using that third-party software that allows me to sort of take snapshots of those of you watching the show. So before we do the giveaway, I'm going to give everyone that has been watching the show for the last 2 or 3 episodes pretty regularly. You're all going to get like an extra 20 tickets on top of the 5 that Gleam gives you, to sort of incentivize those of you watching the show. And I might even give you more. I'm just going to bump it all up there, via the Excel document before we do the giveaway. Okay. Because I love you all. Appreciate you all coming in and watching live. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much to CIG for providing this Tyilui for me to give away tonight, and do appreciate that from them. They have been sending me a ship pretty much every time a new one comes out, and that is very, very appreciated. We're going to talk a little bit about that though, and my thoughts behind that here in just a minute. We're going to get to that. So the links to get in on the Gleam giveaway, if you haven't already gotten in on it though, are pinned to the Twitch and YouTube chats though. So feel free to, go there, go ahead and register. I think we have I think it. Let me just check here. Let me do a check here on the time. It says it ends in 2 hours, but I have it ending at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is technically 3 hours from now. I don't know why it says that, but anyway, it's going to end at 10 p.m. Eastern. If our stream ends before that, which is very possible, then I will just end the giveaway whenever we need it to end. I just extended it out that long so that it wouldn't end early like it has in the past. So VMXEO says he has thoughts on the Tyilui. VM, you're always welcome to jump. You're always welcome to jump in and chat your thoughts on the ship if you want.
Thoughts can be words.
Yes, we can definitely take a pit stop and talk about the Tyilui for a minute. We've talked a little bit about it on a previous show. It is an interesting one, and one that I've been flying around quite a bit. Actually, I've been using the Raelin and the Tyilui quite a bit recently, especially the Raelin. Let me just comment on the Raelin really quick. I watched Morphologist's video today on both ships, his architect's walkthrough, which is a great video. But I gotta tell you, the Raelin is great for cargo running, which is what it's supposed to do, obviously, but it's a damn good cargo runner. I've been using it, haven't had any issues with it. The cargo placement, getting cargo off and on, super easy, super well done. The tractor beams inside the ship are really well done for it. I even had an issue where I was flying around and apparently someone else's ship had blown up on I forget what moon I was on, but it was like on a pretty steep cliff, and their cargo was like spread throughout this valley, and like some of their cargo, and some of it was like on the cliff face. You wouldn't have been able to get to it, but I was able to back the Raelin right up to it, get into the tractor beam seat very easily, snag all the boxes, throw them on there. So again, it just impressed me. I think they did a great job on the Raelin. The Tyilui, unfortunately, is one that I'm seeing has some issues. It does have some issues, mainly in regards to the hangar bay being too confined, too difficult to get your snubs in and out of unless things are running perfectly and the ship is at a still has a bunch of issues. We talked a little bit about that last stream, though. I think some of that stuff could be easily solved had they had done the snubs on the exterior instead of an interior hangar. But who knows? Maybe they'll do that. Either way, Raelin's awesome. I cannot recommend it more. Cannot recommend it more. But Tyilui giveaway. That's the one CIG provided for us. So that's the one we're giving away. Again, I do appreciate CIG for that. Okay. Next, we talked about that. The next thing I want to talk about is Patreon. Okay, we got some Patreon supporters here. I know in chat, because I recognize your names and I see you on the Patreon. Now, one thing I will say about the Patreon is I do apologize to some degree. It's the Patreon's been there. It kind of just sits there. There are incentives. The incentives weren't really followed up on after a certain point. It's really because I needed someone to help me manage all the stuff I'm trying to do for STARJUMP. And Art has obviously stepped in to help manage that, especially a lot with the shows, which frees up some of my time to deal with some of this other stuff. So the Patreon is getting a pretty major overhaul later this week, okay? I don't know exactly what day, but it'll probably be towards the end of the week. The Patreon, all of your current tiers are going to stay intact, but some new rewards are going to be added and some reward changes. There's going to be another tier activated, and 2 of those tiers now will have access to custom STARJUMP Fleet Viewer liveries, okay? Custom STARJUMP Fleet Viewer liveries. So Rough Gaming says, Gleam still thinks I'm not following you on Twitch. Interesting. It should be auto-detecting you, Rough, unless you're doing it under a different name. You can try unfollowing and following again, I guess. You're not supposed to have to do that, but hopefully, I don't know why it would do that. Sorry about that. So Patreon, getting some major changes this week. The incentives I'm going to try to do are going to be tied to stuff that I feel very confident I can deliver. Okay. some of the incentives I can't even fully announce yet because we haven't announced some other stuff that I'm about to announce. But I've told you all that I want to get back to some pre-recorded videos. Pre-recorded videos will always go to Patreon first. I'm going to be doing that. They'll be getting a 24 to 48 hour preview on Patreon before they go live to everyone else. I'm thinking about doing a few other things, including some Patreon only shows or Patreon podcasts and stuff that are linked to that. Shorter content, but stuff that really tries to incentivize those of you all that are supporting what I do, especially because there was a recent change in the cloud rendering service I use, and they no longer support some of the software packages that I'm running. So I now have to go to a competitor, and it is a more expensive competitor. And so my render costs for things like show graphics, 3D models, all that kind of stuff has gone up. Not a huge amount. It's not like a devastating amount, but it has gone up. So the support really does help. And the support is really going to help for the next thing we're going to talk about. Okay. So talked about Patreon. Spike 6K says, hydrate, which I'm going to do. Thank you, Spike. Thank you. I also need to call out Backwash, I guess, subscribed earlier. Thank you very much, Backwash. Do appreciate that. DevilDog.Games resubscribed. Okay. Now let's talk about the next big thing, okay? And this is something I've been looking forward to talking about for quite a while. Not going to go into too much depth tonight, but this week we will, okay? But I think we can finally pull back the curtain a little bit here. It's this. The STARJUMP Summit for 2026. Finally. September 12th, Columbus, Ohio. I don't know how many of you are in the region to come, but later this week, we'll fully pull back the curtain on at least some of the stuff we're planning, okay? This will be an in-person Bar Citizen style event, okay? But I say Bar Citizen style because this is going to be a bigger thing than just a Bar Citizen. It's going to feature it's obviously going to feature STARJUMP, but it's also going to feature possibly some other people you know. There's going to be big raffles. There's going to be some cool presentation style stuff, good food, all that kind of good stuff. Okay. So we'll pull back the curtain on that. I can go ahead and announce that it is a ticket-based system. It's going to be a ticket thing. We will be selling tickets to it. Don't worry, it's not crazy expensive, but we will be selling tickets to it. There's going to be a limited number of tickets. Why are we selling tickets? For two reasons. Okay. The first one is because we are renting out a really cool venue. Okay. Talk about the venue later this week. We'll do a proper reveal of the STARJUMP Summit. I'll reveal the venue then. The venue is really cool. Okay. And so to pay for the venue and help pay for that, renting it out to be private, we're going to need to sell tickets. The other thing is every person who buys a ticket, and you even if you don't come and you buy a ticket, you're guaranteeing yourself a STARJUMP swag bag, and it's going to come with all kinds of cool stuff, STARJUMP posters, and other goodies that are unique to this event. Okay, I won't be giving them away on stream. There won't be any way to buy them from me. They are unique to the event. So even if you end up buying a ticket but can't go, you will get a swag bag. So how cool is that? Okay, and there's gonna be some kick-ass stuff in it. There's gonna be some kick-ass stuff. So that's what it's called. So it's bigger. So it's bigger than a Bar Citizen, but it's not as big as like a Citizen Con or anything. Okay. But again, pull back the curtain later this week. Why are we not pulling back the curtain tonight? Because we still have one final lockdown to do that will be locked down Tuesday morning. Okay. Once that final lockdown happens, we're going to pull back the curtain. Valisov, thank you for resubscribing. We'll pull back the curtain later this week and reveal to you the venue, everything that's going to be going on. I'm going to reveal a few of the swag bag items, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be exciting, but the little bit of information I can give you right now, okay, is it's happening. It's going to happen on September 12th. It's going to be in Columbus, Ohio, and it's called the STARJUMP Summit, okay? That's all the information I can give you right now, okay? More news is coming. It's all happening pretty fast. But hopefully
we have to keep a little bit of mystery.
We have to keep a little bit of mystery, but it is happening. Like full energy is going into it. And hopefully everyone has a good time. I will say too, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this. I mean, there may be some mistakes. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to figure it out. But I guarantee it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you in person. For those of you that are able to make it, it's going to be awesome. We're looking into, no promises yet, but we're looking into other things too, like maybe a live stream version of the event for those that can't make it. Well, we'll see. But again, all that stuff will be properly revealed Thursday. But I did see that Architect TV says, what will the pricing be like? We're still nailing down a few things because there may be 2 tiers of tickets. We don't know. But here's what I will say. It probably will just be around the price of a Star Citizen starter pack. Okay. It's probably going to be around $40, $50, probably $50-ish for a ticket. But again, the ticket gets you swag bag full of stuff, obviously entry to the event, and all that kind of good stuff. Okay. And I guarantee a good time. So, Architect says sound decent. Yeah. That's kind of where we wanted to cap out the tickets. And then with the limited number of tickets being sold, that will give us enough money to not only get the venue, which we want to do. We want to do a private venue and a cool venue, a venue that really is tailored to this sort of event. And then the other thing is I really wanted you all to walk away with some cool swag bags, like some cool stuff that you get just for being there, along with your ticket. You know what I mean? So some actual things to walk away with. Okay. There may be some other partners there. There may be some other content creators there. You'll have to see, just have to wait. But yeah, again, should be a lot of fun. More info on that later this week, but it is happening. Okay. It is happening. If it's something you think you're interested in going, go ahead and mark off September 12th, which is a Saturday. The event's going to last 4 to 5 hours. Okay. We're still nailing that down too, but around 4 to 5 hours. Okay. Okay, I'm excited. I'm glad to announce that. That
took you a minute. I mean,
I did. Yeah,
you've been chomping at this for a while.
yeah.
I've occasionally been like, hold on, back it up. Here's
the thing. This is something that I've been wanting to do, going all the way back to 2022, when I was first working on Fleet Viewer. I wanted to do something like this. I remember when I was at Quantum Vegas, shout out to Soul Citizens. When I was out there, I remember talking to Xylo, and, I was kind of not talking about this to Xylo, but just talking about events like Bar Citizens or not even Bar Citizens, but like fan conventions, like mini conventions, and he was like, yeah, it's so cool when people do this stuff. Always let me know if you plan on doing this. So, I have no doubt. I have no commits yet, and I wouldn't announce them at this stage if I did. But we're going to have some cool raffles, everyone. We're probably going to have some Star Citizen ships to give away at the event. It's going to be really, really awesome. So again, I hope those of you are in or around the region or don't mind making a drive or something to Columbus. There's a lot of cool stuff to do in Columbus, by the way. So if you come for the weekend, it's, in that Saturday, you go to the STARJUMP Summit. The rest of the weekend, there's lots of stuff to do here. Only other thing I'll say too is I know some people with those type of events always ask is, hey, is there going to be just a Bar Citizen the night before where everyone just meets up at a bar? That we haven't planned anything like that yet, but I'm sure we will do something like that. There's a bar here in town called Arcade One, or I forget what they're called, a Level 1 Up or something like that. They've hosted a number of Bar Citizen, just everyone gets up there and says, hey, Star Citizen style thing. So, hey, we might do that the night before. We'll have to see. But either way, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you not around the area, I'm sorry. But again, you'll be able to get a ticket and still lock yourself down a swag bag. Okay, that'll be a path you can take if you want. Because again, your ticket is supporting the event, help paying for it, and we do appreciate it. Okay. Let's see here. Blurry Pix says, question, will you have a ticket for people who know they can't make it there? So there's going to be a way to donate via the ticket portal where you're not buying a ticket, you're just donating to the event. And when you donate, you essentially get a swag bag. So yeah. Okay. That's about all I can say, which was more than I thought I was going to say, but that's about all I can say for tonight. Okay. We'll properly unveil some stuff in a little bit.
To be fair, you literally told me before, you're like, listen, we're just going to show the graphic.
Yeah, I know.
And we're going to be like, more information soon.
Yeah. Pud says, what time is Anvil stuff? Very soon. Probably about 10, 15 minutes. Like I said at the beginning of the show, there's going to be about 30 minutes till we get to the kit bashing. Sorry, there's stuff to talk about. Okay. Let's talk about something else real quick, though, before we get to kit bashing. We have to talk about this. We just have to. It's this right here. It is the STARJUMP, or it's the Squadron. It's the STARJUMP 42. It's Squadron 42 invite event in Manchester for October 9th through the 11th. So, yes, I got invited. However, I will most likely not be going. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this. My thoughts on it is obviously this is the new controversy of Star Citizen. Very reminiscent of the Odin stuff going on. So here's the thing. First off, I won't be able to go because, just to be clear, this is not like a press event or anything where it's all expenses paid, airfare and stuff like that. You have to deal out your own airfare. You have to get your own hotels and stuff, which is totally fine. And I'm very honored that CIG invited me. I feel very appreciative that they invited me. As you all know, I am excited about the project, both projects, and so I'm a cheerleader for them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing content for you, and I wouldn't have spent so much money on it. If I'm ever not a cheerleader for the project, I'm probably going to go play another game and make content for it. Okay, so that being said, I very honored that they invited me. Probably won't be able to go. It's during quite possibly not only the worst month of the year for me for traveling, but the worst weekend of the year for me for traveling. It literally could not be the worst weekend. It would be easier for me to go on Christmas Day than the weekend that it's happening. So it gives you kind of an idea. But what are my thoughts on it? Okay. I think the big controversy has surrounded who should be deserving to go. Like, I've seen people say, why wasn't so-and-so invited? They deserve to get an invite. Why did this person not get it and this person get it? And so very reminiscent of the Odin. And here's what I would say. Here's my thought on this, okay? And this is coming from someone who was invited but is not going, okay? So I kind of feel like I don't have much skin in the game. We just got some subs. Who gifted? Who gifted? Was that you, Art? You Maybe. Son of a... Art, doing that 07 to you, buddy. Appreciate those 5 gifted subs. Everyone give Art a little 07 love, supporting us like that.
I had to raise the mood up a little bit. It's getting a little dark.
Yeah, getting a little dark. But let me bring it up a little bit as well. Here's my thoughts on it. Who deserves to go? Everyone. Everyone who's a backer deserves to go to this, but not everyone can go. It's just facts, right? I've played other games where I felt like I deserved to get certain things out of that, and it didn't happen, right? I mean, technically, all of us deserve to go, from the person that paid $45 from a starter pack to the person that's paid $45,000 for a Legatus pack, whatever. Okay, everyone deserves to the biggest content creator to someone who's never streamed. Everyone technically deserves to go. but we all can't go, right? So because of that, all we can really do is take the good from this, which there is a lot. The fact that they're doing this event means that Squadron 42 is coming along and is probably going to release soon after this event. Is it going to release the next day? Is it going to release the next week? Is it going to release in early 2027? We don't know. I feel, though, this is something I would feel. I feel that, and I could be wrong, I think that they are going to release it very soon after this event, like within a week or two. Partially because these people are going to go talk to their communities, spread the word about their experience, all that kind of good stuff. And you want to ride that wave of hype. You don't want people to get excited and then it die off again for another month or two while you release it. I think they're going to want to build hype through the community that way, keep the hype high, and then release it and go. And if they did that like within a few days to a week after the event, they get a good solid month of sell time before GTA comes out. And again, GTA is not on consoles or not on PC, so it's not like exact competitor, but they'd have a month of having the gaming airwaves to themselves to some degree. So, I think it's pushing it. It's about pushing it to the limit. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, maybe it'll be February, maybe it'll be early 2027. If that's the case, I do think they're doing this little event a little too early, and maybe could risk some of the buzz dying down. I also think that the gaming press is going to get their own private event like this that we maybe won't know about, which is totally fair. But ultimately, try not to look at it as why didn't this person get invited? Why didn't I get invited? Just look at it as a sign that Squadron is going well and it should be on track to release. Okay. Because, these people are going to go to Manchester. They're going to probably have a great time. They're going to see the game early, get a studio tour, but let's focus on that big picture, right? Getting these games out. And I say games because I'm talking about Squadron. I'm talking about Star Citizen 1.0. Okay. And this will be yet another major, major milestone that they cross and is, out from under them so that we can then move on to the next milestone. And that's the way I look at it. So yeah, and here's the thing. I know some people who weren't invited. I know some big content creators who were invited that can't go. I've had those conversations with them. They can't go for a variety of reasons. At the end of the day, though, CIG is going to invite people that do two things, in my opinion. Play by their rules, which is to be expected, and has a positive outlook on the game. Duh. I don't know if anyone knows how marketing works. I'm sure you all in this channel do because we talk about marketing all the time. I've worked in marketing for 25 years. When we're selling a product, the last thing we do is call people that don't like what we're selling and get them to sell our product. So there's no conspiracy here. This is just how you market product. This is how you spread the word. So there you go. They're going to call upon the people they feel are, that they want to be, ambassadors for this specific event. It doesn't diminish or anything the work that many other people have done to spread the word of this game that were not invited. So I wouldn't I wouldn't look into it much more than that, everyone. I would just look at it as a positive thing, that we are headed towards a Squadron release. And again, for anyone from CIG watching, I appreciate the invite. I'm very excited for the project. I want it to go well. I will continue to be an excited ambassador for the project. You're not going to ever really see a lot of anger towards the project from me, because if I'm angry towards the project, I won't be making content for it. It's just how I prioritize things in my life. So there it is, everyone. There's my viewpoint. Art, did you have anything to say on the Squadron 42 community event, whatever we want to call it?
My invitation got lost in the mail.
It happens. Yours got lost in the mail?
It happens. No, And you mentioned it earlier off the show, and I agree with it. It is, you want to experience that game in its in your environment, and just to be able to enjoy it.
Part of me doesn't want to see it early.
Or people, looking over your shoulder, or people, coming up like, oh, I'm really excited about this part.
Yeah.
Just being able to just sit and enjoy the game is where it's really going to be really nice.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it was something where the stars aligned better, especially if it wasn't on the weekend they chose, I would probably go. I'd be really excited to go. Like I said, I'm very honored to be invited. And I appreciate that from them. And like I said, I've worked with CIG a little bit just in terms of STARJUMP Fleet Viewer and stuff like that. And I've always felt like they were fair to us. I mean, they don't owe STARJUMP anything. They don't owe me anything. Everything I've done has been on my own accord. They didn't ask me to do it. They're not asking me to put out Fleet Viewer or anything like that. This is stuff I did, decisions I made. But the stuff I've done, they've been very supportive, and I appreciate that. And again, remember, even with Fleet Viewer, I'm using their IP. Now, obviously, nothing is monetized, but we're using their IP, and they allow us to freely do that. So I have no complaints to them. So yeah, I would go if I could. It's just not a good weekend for me, and probably won't work out. But I'm excited for those that are going. Be the community ambassador, and hopefully they'll be able to come back and spread the word of their experience, which will hype us up, and Squadron will come out soon after. Hey, look, and it could be worse. They may not. What if they didn't do any event like this, and they literally just did something for press or big streamers like that aren't part of the Star Citizen community? They just went and found the biggest streamers and paid their airfare and stuff to come out. That would have made us all mad, right? They had to pick a cross section of people that they felt could get the word out to the most other people of their experiences. This is what they decided to do. No perfect way of doing it, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Jormarker says, don't you think it's a little weird you have to explain the reasoning for CIG? No, I don't. I mean, this isn't the reasoning. No one has to explain anything. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? This is my opinion on it. And CIG's reasoning isn't reasoning, really. It's just basic marketing 101. Like it's like the most basic level of marketing. They are inviting people they feel like have an ear to the ground, can communicate to others. And I'm not just talking content creators, because I know several people that are not content creators that were invited, but also have a very positive outlook on the project. Okay. I've heard some people in socials and stuff say, oh, it's the shills, the corporate shills and stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, any of us that have backed this very experimental project, I guess you could technically call shills, because we don't know if this Star Citizen is going to be successful. We don't know if it'll ever hit 1.0. We might all be shills. I feel very confident about the project, though, which is why I continue to back it and talk about it. So, sorry, Art, you were saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, we had discussed it again off stream that, excuse me, that, it goes again to it. This is a business, and they're going to want the people there that are excited to be there and are excited to talk about it, not those that are going to be looking for everything and anything. Yeah. I mean, again, it's just like with the Odin thing, everyone, we just have to sort of frame this in our minds as a positive. You can always frame things as a negative. Try to frame it as a positive. Like I said with the Odin thing, I didn't even get close to getting an Odin, okay? And I wanted one. I'm not mad about it. It's fine. They're going to sell this ship 6,000 times in the future. You just got to take these little bumps and move on them. It's, again, all I care about is Star Citizen 1.0 and obviously the Kraken's release. So now, if I had gone, I will say that CIG probably would have been like, Grim, here's Squadron. Check it out. It's totally awesome. I'd have meant, yeah, it's super cool. Do love it. How about that Kraken?
Where's that at? Can you bring up the computer that has the updates on the Kraken?
Yeah, just let me walk around the Kraken.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, you're
okay.
here to play Squadron? No, I'm here to look at the Kraken, actually. Take me to the Kraken room. There's a
Yes.
Kraken room here. It's all in Drake. Take me to it.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's my opinion on it. Everything I've said is my opinion. If you like it, great. If you don't agree with it, totally fine too. It's valid. But anyways, I've had some people ask me if I got invited or if I'm going or what all that kind of stuff is. And that's the case. I do kind of wish they had done two separate ones, like one in Manchester and then like a mini one in Austin for those of us that can't travel so far. That I could have made happen. But it is what it is. We did have a question from Retro Repair Room. Says, Grim, can we get a feature on Star Hanger? He means a hanger link that gives you a total number of ships you own in your hangar before the update. It had it in it. Yeah, it's coming back. Where it's on the feature set we're adding next. We got a few things we're adding back in, so stay tuned for that. Simon Wolf, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate you. Salute to you. I do greatly appreciate that. All right, everybody. It's time to get back to the project at hand. I will go ahead and say, too, that the question bot is running, so you can ask questions. Feel free to ask any questions you want. There were some leaks that came out, but I know everyone's eager to get back to kit bashing, so we'll move past the leaks. Suffice it to say, there's leaks starting to come out around 4.9. Related to the Basher and the Stingray and the heavy or the HMG and that super heavy suit of armor stuff. So stuff's starting to come out. I think will be more interesting leaks to talk about though here in the next few days. So okay. Question bot is running though, so feel free to ask questions. Okay. One of the leaks, though, that I did want to slightly talk about because it goes into our Skunkworks assignment is the quantum fuel changes. A lot of ships got reduction in quantum fuel amounts. I'll switch over here to it. For example, the Idris M and P went down by 77% on their quantum fuel tanks. Now, normally you all know that I don't focus on this stuff very much, okay? I don't talk about number changes from patch to patch because I do think it's mostly pointless. I know a lot of people other people like to focus on it. I think it's mostly pointless because these change and will change many more times before we get to 1.0. This is CIG just sort of figuring things out. But since we're building an Anvil carrier, I thought, hey, it's good to sort of reference these quantum fuel changes and maybe this goes back to some semblance of CIG wanting to give carriers some purpose. Right now, I've told you all very much that I look at the carriers as essentially repair, rearm, refuel platforms versus ships that carry other ships from A to B. Yes, they can do that, but like the point isn't really there anymore. So for me, I still think of carriers are sort of those RRR platforms, but you never know. We might get back to a place where carriers make a real difference. And if they do, if CIG does take us back to that point, I really start to think, man, we need a lot more carrier options, right? Not only big ones, but we need smaller carrier options too. We need more refuelers. We need a lot of other things to mitigate those quantum fuel limitations. I think another thing we saw coming into the game is a lot more refueling missions and stuff coming to Pyro and things like that. Hey, I see Ryan Mac Gamer in chat. Ryan, hope you're doing well, buddy. Here's our assignment, everyone. If you remember from part one of this, we're building an Anvil carrier. It has to have the ability to carry 2 medium size 4 ships. It has to have the ability to carry 2 to 4 extra small size 2 ships. It's going to be a competitor to the Drake Kraken and Aegis Idris, so it's meant to sit at that scale level. This is not a Liberator. It is not a competitor to the Liberator. The Liberator, in my opinion, works at a good, essentially it's built around carrying small and extra small ships, where these larger carriers are designed around carrying medium ships. So again, that's where it's trying to compete there, is in that medium ship category. And then obviously we'll come up with a really cool name when we get there. Okay. So, okay, let me move some windows around here. Let me move some windows around here. About 9,000 windows open. And I am going to...
It's that one right there. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I am going to get us back here. There we go. All right. This is sort of where we left off on our first chat. Okay. We had started to very roughly block out some ultra simplified white box kind of concept meshes for essentially two variants of the ship, those variants having differences in their bridge positions. And then there were two alternates of each of those variants that went from fly in, fly out fronts to fly through hangars out the side, which you can see in both options B and options D. Okay. The options A and B had the sort of Odin style bridge thing going on there. I'd say Odin style with a little bit of that Liberator flair where the bridge is off to one side. So that was one direction we explored. Another direction with C and D was sort of the bridge design that sort of mimics the Idris a little bit, retains that circular motif that we know Anvil ships have. All the ships kind of came with a double-decker sort of layout, as you can see here. And if we scroll down, you'll see some of these ships down here. The fly through on the side ones have the ability to have sort of a drop-down ramp sort of system, maybe for ground vehicles, a la a Liberator or something, if that's what you want to do with them. All the ships are coming in at Kraken scale. So what that essentially means is that they are not longer or wider than the capital ship metric. Okay, the idea is that these ships would land and be able to carry or be able to land not only on the surface of planets, but also land in a capital hangar. Okay, that's the entire point here. So the very first thing we're going to do, and I guess I should give my opinion on these. I'm personally leaning towards A. I like the asymmetric stuff going on here. I like the tower sort of pulling from the Odin. I really dig that. I like the asymmetric engine layout with sort of the one big and the two littles. If you remember, we were doing that. We also did a variant of that would have two big ones on the back, very Liberator style. And then the other two, do the two big engines and stuff, again, borrowing from the Liberator. Now, here's the thing. I remember last time a lot of people were like, oh, it feels too Liberator-esque. Well, I also want to be somewhat realistic to the brand, to the Anvil brand. And right now, for a ship-carrying Anvil ship, we have the Liberator as our reference and the Crucible. Okay, so those are all the references we have. And yes, I know the Odin can carry ships, but I don't consider it a carrier in that regard. So we are going to kind of lean into that, and we have to just pick some place to start, right? We have to pick some place to kind of focus in on and start. So what the exercise is tonight is we're not going to get, we're going to continue to do some work on these, but we're not going to get like crazy advanced. We're not going to get like to a really good looking model tonight. Tonight, we're going to refine some more of the geometry and some more of the specifics on the ship. We're going to start to outline where some freight elevators would be and all the kind of ugly stuff in this very blocky white box format before we start making the ship pretty, which will be in episode 3, okay? Or part 3 of this. So what we need to do tonight is, yes, stop that. What we need to do tonight is, Art, let's put up a poll. Okay.
I'm ready when you are, boss.
And we're going to do a poll, everyone. A, B, C, or D. I think you're able to do 4 options, right? Let's do it for do it for like a minute or 2 minutes. 2 minutes, maybe.
2 minutes. Got it. Twitch poll up. YouTube poll up.
Okay. Polls are up. So, okay. So let's talk about these. Sound off in chat, by the way, if you have an opinion on them. Here's the reasoning behind this. Okay. I really want this carrier to carry either essentially 2 size 4 medium ships. So that's going to be 2 paladins or 2 Asgards or an Asgard and a paladin, ships of that scale, okay? Something that the Kraken could do. I also want to leverage the big advantage I think the Kraken has, which is that it can fly, it can carry ships, or sorry, the upper decks that are unobstructed by any sort of ceiling or anything can have ships come in and land from multiple directions. So I want to kind of lean into that to some degree. And then the next thing is I wanted to have some sort of internal like hangar setup riffing off the Liberator and capturing a little bit of what the Kraken has with its 2 internal hangars on its side, but sort of building out from there. So remember, if you go back to our original layout, which actually, do I have that up? Yeah, if I go back to this, you remember ability to carry 2 medium ships and also carry 2 to 4 extra small size 2 ships. Okay, that's the goal here. Now, I know some people saying the pads are obstructed with these bridges. That's not to say we don't build out some geometry. So, for example, just because it's mocked up like this doesn't necessarily mean the final ship's going to look like that. Okay, it's very important to remember. We may do something where, since this bridge is here, we may do something where there's more ship back here. So there is no like rear part of the hangar that they don't or there is no bridge obstruction because maybe the ship is more like that. Okay, so we don't know yet. We'll have to see once we get there. So don't worry too much about little things that right now. We're just going with sort of general silhouette. Now, A and B, you do lose a little bit of that circular. Go ahead.
The people have spoken.
What did they spoke?
They choose
What's the results?
B.
B.
B as in boy.
Okay, B as in boy. Okay, so we like, so if B is the option, then that means we like the fact that our bridge is going to be on one side. We like the fact that we have a ramp up front. They like that we have fly-through hangars down here for the smaller ships. And either, do we like the dual engines or the asymmetric engines? I'm assuming these because they're part of B, but maybe sound off in chat if you like asymmetric or symmetric engine layouts. I know that can be somewhat controversial for people. We don't need a poll for that one, but feel free to chime in. Okay, and then I'll walk you through the next step. I'm already seeing some symmetrics. Okay, that's okay. Symmetric for Anvil. Yeah, you're not wrong. Anvil does tend to do symmetric engines, so you are correct in that. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to, for the sake of building, we're going to eliminate D, eliminate C, eliminate A, and we're going to take B and we're going to center B in our work area. Okay. All right, there we go. I'm going to leave the Kraken up here because I just like having it from a scale perspective to reference if we need it. Okay. Okay, so we're going to turn the Kraken off though. So, okay, we are dealing with B. Okay. Let me turn this off. Okay. So here we go, everyone. Let's do another review of this. Okay, so we have fly-through hangars, okay, which will need doors. We'll have to give these doors. But fly-through hangars where ships can come in and take off out the starboard and port sides. We have a ramp at the front, I think, and probably a door in the rear that can cover up and fully enclose this, so you get some benefits of Idris style ship carrying. That'll be kind of cool. As a matter of fact, let me change the access point of this to did I do that? Oops, 1 second, everyone. Oops, wrong. And okay, cool. So the ramp, let's say if it lands, it'll have the ability to lower its ramp and stuff come out of it. So it'll really be a carrier that has the best of all worlds. We'll do the sort of bridge layout that is pulled from the Odin, if you all remember the Odin. Now its bridge is centrally located, of course, but let me pull that up really quick. Hold on. Its bridge is obviously centrally located. However,
A lot of people with the Odin really dug the sort of central conning tower there. Only we're going to take that and sort of make it just slightly asymmetrical and sort of link back to, a traditional carrier, which is another thing that I think people really dig about the Kraken, is it just has that sort of traditional carrier tower. So we'll keep that to one side. We'll do the two big ass giant engines in the rear. Again, very much like the Liberator. We still have obviously the double decker flight or landing pads. And then, we haven't spec'd out any armament for this ship, but here's something I think, and this is something we'll all have to sort of feel out, especially once we start getting a lot of this ship, really detailed out, is that it is in some ways bringing the best parts of the Kraken, the best parts of the Idris, the best parts of the Liberator, all into one really good focused carrier. And to make the ship not the best ship in the game from that standpoint, it's got to have some limitations. I do think that if it's going to be this capable of a carrier, then it probably should be somewhat limited on armament. I think you agree with that, right, Art? Yeah. So,
Yep.
And that's not to say it won't have any armament. It just means that it should be somewhat limited in armament, so that it's not the best gunship, Idris destroyer, best carrier, Kraken destroyer. It has to have something to kind of keep it balanced. And I think that will come down to armament. Now, that doesn't mean that maybe it doesn't get a suite of VLS launchers up here at the front, or maybe it doesn't get some pretty cool turret placement. It's obviously going to have some turrets and stuff, because CIG does not make any ships that do not have some turrets. Right. Even salvage ships are running turrets on them and missiles and stuff. So it's going to have some level of that. So, okay. So let's talk about its measurements really quick here to make sure we're operating at the right size regime. Okay. We've got a measuring stick right here. This is going to be our yardstick. We're going to go to this side view really quickly here. Again, this is all just rough right now, everyone. Don't pay too much about the geometry. If you never watched a Skunkworks thing, we're not to the pretty phase yet. We'll get to the pretty phase yet, but we're not there yet. Okay. So the ship we're set to meters, and this measuring stick is, nope, we're set to inches. We are set to inches. I lied to you all. So let's set ourselves to meters. There we go. So the ship currently is 220 meters long. 220 meters long. To give you an idea, Kraken is 260 meters long. So it's actually 40 meters shorter than a Kraken. Okay, 40 meters shorter than a Kraken. This is really putting it on the same scale as an Idris. Okay, so we're at Idris scale right now. But let's go ahead and check our width, because we need to be correct on width as well. Otherwise, the ship will not be able to land in a damn hangar. So let's go over to our width and get a proper measurement for that, which is putting us at around, let's go ahead and go down here, give or take. You want to give a little bit of slack. We're at, okay, yeah, that's good for width. We are at 93 meters wide. 93 meters wide. And we're definitely good on height because it's shorter than our Kraken model. So that should put us well within the confines of like something like the Kraken, which has a width of 104 meters. This has a width of 93 meters, and this ship is 220 meters long versus the Kraken's 260. So we are going to be able to land this in a hangar. Now, doesn't mean we don't scale it up for various reasons. We might get there. Okay, we might get there. But for now, we don't have to. Everyone, don't forget, if I didn't already say it, the question bot is running. You can ask some questions. Get in there. I just put question, and it will pick it up. And even if you have a comment about what we're working on, you can just still put question and do your comment. But if it's a comment that's pertinent to decisions we're making, obviously we can't do... the chat is more for your general comments, but if it's something that's a question comment, feel free to let the bot pick it up. And we'll get to those as we go because Art can read those out as we're building. Okay. First thing we want to do is we want to outline a few things, okay? We need to outline some stuff related to So we have our flight decks, we have the scale, we have our bridge, we have our engines. We need to outline a few other things. We need to outline weaponry and cargo elevators. Those are the first two things I want to focus on, and I do have some thoughts and opinions on that now. Okay, and again, we're just going to be doing some really basic white box modeling right now. We're not really trying to make the ship look too beautiful at this stage. Okay. Okay. So the first thing is armament. Let's focus on that for a minute. Now, we're not going to be plopping guns on here, but what we are going to do is we are going to outline locations for armaments. And Art, do you have any opinions on armament? What do you think a ship like this should be outfitted with?
I think you need a couple manned size 4s.
Okay, some manned size 4s. Okay.
And then a couple PDTs.
Okay.
And I would say maybe, I don't know. I was going to say maybe like a size 5 or a size 6, just one, but I think that would be too much for it. I think
big
I think
chonker gun is what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start just sort of outlining a few places that weaponry can go. Okay, again, we're not fully laying out everything at this stage. We're just sort of getting a few general locations for where armament could be, where it would sort of make sense. Okay, and again, we can always adjust these as we go, but in this very early stage of us just sort of figuring out a model, I do kind of like to, do some ideation of kind of what we're dealing with here. Obviously, we'll need some weaponry underneath, but we're actually not even going to deal with the underneath of this ship yet. That's going to be one of the last things we're dealing with. Yes, by the way, these will have doors. We're not going to, this is all just temp geometry. Okay, so we got some basic weaponry. You talked about a large size 5. Be interesting where we put that, actually. That'll be interesting. We'll have to look at scale. Maybe it could go on top of the tower, although it would make the tower kind of a big target, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'll have to look into that. Okay. Next thing I wanted to look at was cargo elevators. And for that, here's what I was thinking, because we'll need cargo elevators that can access the top of the ship up here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of make a little thing here. Again, everyone, this is very simplified. Please be gentle, Tolgrim. Okay, I'm going to do this. And what we're going to essentially do is make some cutaways at this stage. So I think we're going to do there and there, something like that. Okay, and then we will. And while I'm doing this, Art, which will take a little bit of setup, obviously, do we have any initial questions? Ask some questions.
Making me do some
Making you
work.
do some stuff.
Man.
Sorry, making you do some stuff.
Let's see. Praisel SC says, what do you think the next Tavaran ship will be?
Ooh, the next Tavaran ship. I don't know, but I tell you what, I do hope they give us something cool on Tavaran ships at some point. I do like Tavaran ships. I've just never found that one that is for me yet. But I don't know. I'd like... I've been saying it for a while with the Stingray, but I'd like something that competes with the Eclipse. A proper Eclipse competitor. I could see a Tavaran ship doing that. Okay.
Ooh, somebody said make the elevator a circle motif instead of a square for Anvil.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting for a cargo elevator, especially on deck side. We'll have to look at that. Well, maybe, you know what? There may be something cool we can do with an elevator from second
from the first flight. Oh, that could be I got an idea. Whoever said that, you just gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea, and I'm going to show what that is here in just a second. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to make, again,
John Chavez said that.
John Chavez. Okay, cool. What we're going to do here, everyone, again, we're working with very basic parts and pieces right at the moment, everyone. And they're doing all this so that when we do start building the ship out, we're not just building blindly, okay? We're not building blindly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go ahead and map out our freight elevators here. These will service the ships on the upper pad. Okay, and we're going to have two essentially, one there and one there. And these will, again, service ships on that side. This is something, if you've watched any of my previous streams related to the Kraken and its redesign, I've talked a lot about the Kraken does need solutions for that top platform, cargo elevator thing, because currently there's no way to get cargo from the cargo deck of the Kraken up to the platform, which I think is a huge issue. Okay. Okay, so here's another thing we could do. This could be kind of wild. Now, it wouldn't support the medium ships, but let me just move these up for a minute here. Okay, let's just move these up. What we could do if we wanted to get a little crazy, remember how we wanted to bring in that circular motif that Anvil ships are known for, is we could bring in a large circular elevator back here that goes from
I like it.
The lower deck. It essentially would go from this deck up to bring ships up. That could be kind of cool. And to see if its viability is intact from a scale standpoint, let's check that. Let's go start 180. Okay, and then let's bring it up. See if we did. It looks like it would be plenty big enough to bring up like a Hornet or something from the bottom level to the top, which that could be really cool. Okay, we're getting ideas here,
I mean,
folks.
you could put the catapult down the lane there for like an additional like throw off.
We could,
So.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to now, we're going to do some hole cutting here. Again, this is all rough geometry, but you can see what we're doing, and this is exactly why we're trying to sort of figure this out at this stage, everyone. So, okay, let me get the elevator here, or what will be our elevator. Let's make it the proper size here. Let's, okay, and now let me duplicate it. That'll all make sense in a minute, and now let's make it... Oops, nope. Let's take our elevator. Let's make it tall here. Again, you're all seeing some very rough geometry, everyone. Hopefully you're okay with that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this flight deck. I'm going to go to... Okay, let's bring this up here. Okay, we'll cut that hole out. Oops. Yep. Okay. Stand by, everyone. We're going to conjoin these. Next question. Any more questions?
Desert Punk asked, "Will the circular elevator have pizza doors?"
Will the circular elevator? Possibly. That may be something that the ship deserves. Let me grab this other. Okay, there we go. And okay, boom. And see. Okay, we have beginnings of our elevator system here. Now, the tricky thing is, even if we do have an elevator, right, that can run from this level to this level, we still have to have a way that when... Oh, actually, I figured it out. So when this elevator's up, thus completing this landing pad, right, making it a solid surface, this bottom platform, so that there's not a divot in the floor, it'll have a section that essentially just raises up, to kind of fill that in so that you're totally filled. And this elevator here can go down. Let's see, then it would crush a ship. How do we deal with that? Unless you have a ship out of the way, you move the elevator down, put a ship on top. It gets kind of clumsy. We're gonna have to rethink that, but that's okay. We'll get to that. I have some ideas. One thing I do like to do is, this is kind of stupid, but you do have to sort of think about this, is just general like support structure.
How do we support it?
Yeah, general support structure, which is something you do need to account for. So for that, we're going to sort of build these pieces here. And by the way, I'm labeling some of this stuff in different colors, just so I know for when we get to actually building it, if it's something that like needs to be addressed through design or something, which all of it does, but it just helps remind me that, hey, this is a piece you need to kind of pay attention to later, right? So we'll have a big structure there. We'll have a big structure over here. There we go. Okay. So that way our elevator has some sort of structure element that it can move up and down. And imagine this, imagine these two pieces here have some sort of system that bring the elevator up and down, something like that. Okay. Now, the other thing, now the good news is you could do this. You could do this. If this elevator is down, right? If this elevator is in the down state, I'm just thinking out loud here, everyone, bear with me. If this elevator is in the down state to bring ships up, we essentially need something in here to fill the gap so that we don't have a hole in the damn floor, okay? Can't have a hole in your floor, as Art will tell you. A master at that. Okay. So in that regard,
I've got holes in the bottom of my walls currently.
So in that regard, we need to have a system that can essentially
Well, I think that's what he's meaning by that. Pizza doors was like that they kind of come from the outside and like pie in and cover it.
Yeah, and I think
it's a lot of geometry work.
Yeah, and I think we will do something a lot more interesting when we get to that. Right now, I'm just doing something that we know has to be a door of some type, right? So, for example, if I do I have that? Where is it? Do I even have it still? I probably don't. That's okay. Let me look really quick here. Stand by, everybody.
Uh,
I'm going to bring up another model, but questions while we're slowly trudging along.
Praisel ST asks, do you think we'll ever see a dedicated command and control ship?
Yes, I do. I think we will get that. I've heard enough rumblings from CIG that command and control is a thing that I do think it's a thing. And I think we will get it at some point. Yeah, I definitely think so. Okay, sorry everyone. I am digging for something. Bear with me.
I'm gonna butcher that. Yep.
Okay.
Nope. I'm not gonna do it. Nope. I refuse. Once touring becomes a loop, I'm not you. I don't butcher. I mean, I am.
Yeah,
but,
you butcher names. You just butchered it. You just made them feel bad.
Sorry.
Yep.
Once touring becomes a loop outside of Origin, do you think we'll get touring ships, or who do you think we'll get touring ships from, excluding the Connie P and the Crusader liner?
RSI for sure. Like RSI is probably the most guaranteed one. Yeah, I would say RSI. Really quick, everyone, I'm going to open this. If you've missed out on Skunkworks in the past, you missed out on the first episode that we did on this one. You'll remember I showed the Argo Capital ship. This was a previous Skunkworks project. Okay, this is it right here for those that haven't seen it. And yes, this is the level that we'll get this Anvil carrier to. Again, we have to build up to that detail. Sometimes we even do some basic level animation, so you could see how on this fabrication ship, which is what this was supposed to be, was like a big giant Argo fabrication ship. It had these sort of articulated arms that allow it to like build out to bigger and bigger ships. But if you'll remember, I think it's on this one. Did I do it on this one? Let me check, everyone, because I can't remember if I put it here. No, I did. Okay, so it's not that one. Let me go to, I have a few versions of this. I'm trying to find the right one. Let me open up this one. Was it this one? Let's rotate around here.
Jay Cliff had a question about the Crusader Genesis. Is it a post 1.0 ship?
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is from what they've said. Okay. The reason I opened this model is I thought I had one of those doors. I don't, that we could sort of steal, so we may have to make one. Yes, so the Genesis, I'm pretty sure, is a post 1.0 ship. It all comes down to the gameplay. I think if they want to do, if they prioritize passenger gameplay, like if that is something they decide to prioritize, then we're going to see it, or we'll see it come quicker. It really all just comes down to if they decide to prioritize that. And that, unfortunately, is something I don't know. I mean, from what we've heard, though, it feels like something they want to save for a post 1.0 environment. Here's the thing, though. I think there's a lot of people really excited for that type of gameplay. So I think once they get that passenger NPC level stuff in, the sky's the limit. I think you're going to see, tons of ships that do stuff like that. Sorry, what were we talking about, Art?
All sorts of things.
Yes. Next question.
Happy Merch asked, will you ever stream on Kick?
Ooh, I don't know.
We talked about it.
Did we?
We talked about it briefly.
Okay.
It just was like, we're busy. We decided that you were going to go the rebranding route before we discussed opening any other venues.
Yeah. Just so everyone knows, there is a lot of like STARJUMP rebranding going on behind the scenes. A lot of the show graphics are going to change and some other stuff. Once I do that, I probably would be a lot more open to looking at what platforms. I'm pretty sure Restream also supports Kick, so it's very possible I could do all three environments at once, or all three platforms at once. So, yeah, very possible. I don't know much about Kick. Does anyone? I don't know much about it. I'm naive. Okay, everyone. Just looking here, I was thinking that possibly we would have some sort of wall system here that could animate up, essentially giving us a fully blocked out interior if and when we need it, which could be kind of cool. So the front's sealed up, the back sealed up, we'll have doors and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we've done armament. We've sort of mapped out where some cargo elevators would be. And again, I think those cargo elevators, once they go down, because we got an issue here. Actually, you know what? I think we have a bigger issue we have to solve. Let me see. We could have an issue in terms of these elevators being able to move directly down, because this one would move right under the door, which would be problematic. This one would as well. So what we could probably do there is make it to where this structure in here takes the cargo and maybe moves it laterally and then down. I don't know. Do cargo elevators do that? I don't think they do that. Or maybe we have to devise a way to bring this stuff up even with the doors there. Okay, we may have to think about that. We
could just get rid of the
middle.
We could just, yeah.
Maybe the middle door is, yeah. I think by removing the middle entry, that could help. I mean, we need enough clearance in terms of the entry of these doors. We need enough clearance for a Hornet to get out safely, not scraping paint.
Or you could do on that side, you could only do that, one or two doors and then leave three on this side. So it's a bit asymmetrical.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. It'd be asymmetric, but Could be interesting. We'll think about that. But again, this is why I start blocking out stuff like this, because you do need to kind of figure out this shit when you're designing these ships. Otherwise, stuff doesn't make any sense. This is why ships like, the Kraken have to go back in for reconcepting to figure this stuff out, because their current concepts just did not support stuff like this.
People are saying you can widen those structures, the in between the walls.
Yep, I thought about that. Now, one thing, if we did that, just to kind of shits and giggle this for a minute, if we did that, we start reducing the amount of clearance we have for the ships. And here's the thing, you got to remember, you don't want the clearance to be just on the edges of the wings, because no one's going to fly that perfectly. You really need to have, the ability. Actually, what we can do, let's test something. Let's test something really quick. Let's bring up our Kraken really quick. This is something we did the other day, and let's use these hangers over here as our yardstick, essentially. I know we did this last time, but it probably is smart to do it again before we get to, because here's the thing, it's easier to figure this stuff out at this stage than it is when the ship is looking pretty. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just using primitives right now. I'm not going crazy with making the ship look beautiful or anything like that. We're not doing like VMXEO level work here yet. Okay. We're doing Grim level work. Okay. So I got the rough dimension of the side doors there on the Kraken. Okay. With this piece of geometry. So let's take a gander here. Let me just throw a color on it so it stands out. So if I bring this over, okay, so we're kind of right in the ballpark of this door. Actually, we're exact. That's why we did it. Now, we did give these doors more up and down clearance than the Kraken ones have. So that's something. That's something good to know. You know what I mean? We could, if we wanted to, bring all this down a little bit, which could help actually. And there's some reasons why this could be advantageous. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this the dirty way here. We're going to grab both of these pieces of geometry. We'll go into point mode here, and we're just going to sort of grab those. Actually, let me turn the Kraken off here for a minute. Okay, we're just going to sort of grab these sections. So how we do that is we're going to go to a side view. We're going to grab that. Okay, so I grab those points, and then we're just going to drag them down. Okay, because that could help. We actually may even give it just a little bit of a bigger opening than the Kraken one there, because I do think the Kraken doors, they may expand a little bit. So there we go. Why is that maybe helpful to us? Because now that we have more volume in this area here to work with, this could do a couple things for us. It could be a traversal system for the cargo elevator. Like the cargo, you put your stuff on here, and instead of moving down, the cargo could move forward and back. You get what I'm saying? And when it moves forward or back, it could then move to, so it essentially would be moving forward or back along here, and then it could move to an area over here where it then comes down and deposits, or back here in the rear, and you wouldn't have to lose any of your hangers. Now, it'd be a wild design. But you know what? After seeing the Tyilui and how it does its hanger space, I don't think there's any risk of being like too wild. I don't know. What do you all think?
Oh, funny you mentioned that, because someone had a question. Okay. What do you think of Killian asked, what do you think about a carrier vehicle like the Tyilui, which has to transport troops and pilots to fight a size 5 ship, having less reflective armor than a 600i, whose role was supposed to be tourism, exploration, and luxury?
I'm a little confused. So they're asking for essentially a Tyilui that's more for like combined ops type stuff. So it can deliver ground vehicles. Is that what you're saying? And
it has to transport troops and pilots to fight a size 5 ship is what I'm seeing. Less reflective armor than a 600i, whose role was supposed to be tourism, exploration, and luxury.
Yeah, I mean, look, just to be totally clear, I would be fine with any new sort of or like alien ships that start creeping into some of these ship archetypes we have. I think that would be really, really cool. It's hard to know what the Xeon would do because again, it's again, the Tyilui really like surprised me. And so it makes me think that, when it comes to some of these alien ships, especially stuff in Squadron that we don't get exposed to, there may be some tech that they can do, tech that we don't know is possible within the game engine, but tech that exists that really could alter the way these ships play out, right? Don't know. What to see. Okay, everyone. Now we're going to start borrowing some stuff. Okay, we got some basic ideas laid out. We got sort of an idea for some cargo elevators. We got sort of an idea for armament placement. We have sort of an idea for this circular ship elevator back here in the rear, right? We got an idea for that. We've got an idea for placement of engines, for just some general elements here. Now remember, just because the ship is somewhat shaped like this doesn't mean that's where we're going to end up. We're literally starting simple here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you how simple we're being. Let me go to, I want to show you all something to give you an idea what I'm talking about. And I know I have an image of it somewhere. Bear with me though. Bear with me a second. Where is it? Well, I'm looking for this art. Maybe throw out another question here. Sorry.
I'm dodging executes gifts and
Oh, okay.
Gotta watch this guy.
Yeah.
There was a good
because
one
I have a
here.
specific image I want to show everyone that's a little crazy, but I'm going to have to find it.
John Chavez asked, what would you like more and think is more likely, an Argo Capital Industrial Carrier mobile base or a Crusader Capital gunship, like a Polaris competitor?
Read those two options again.
An Argo Industrial / like mobile base, like an industrial carrier / mobile base, or a Crusader gunship that's like a Polaris competitor.
I think I'd want the Argo mobile base thing, I think. Yeah. Altzilla, happy Father's Day as well. Happy Father's Day to everyone, by the way. Yeah, I think I'd want the Argo thing. I want to see a large Argo ship, like a really big one. I want to show everyone something really quick. And so just to show you the simple level of modeling we're doing at this stage, so this makes sense, okay? And this is something CIG doesn't show as much anymore, but they used to show it a lot, okay? They used to show it a lot. I'm going to go back to this monitor. So as you all know, this is the sort of white box, gray box, but mostly white box model of the Banu Merchantman, okay? But do you all know where this started? Like when they started doing the white box? In that early white box phase, this is what they were doing. Pretty much that level of Banu Merchantman. And that's even more simpler than what we're doing. But what they're trying to do when they do that is they're just trying to get the general shape, language, scale, silhouette of the ship. They're trying to sort of define what that looks like. And as they do that, it just gets more and more and more detailed. Now, to be fair, I think CIG's gotten so good with their processes at this point that they almost even skip this step to some degree as they're building out. But I guarantee you a lot of new ships, before they go deep into them, start off as ultra simplified, very, very blocky models that you're seeing here. Okay, so if you're wondering, if you're just joining us and saying, man, what does this really crappy ship, why does it look like that? That's why, because we're sort of starting at that level, okay? Cool, yeah, I don't know, Art, what do you think? I would go with an Argo sort of base ship. I think that would be really cool.
Me being the combat guy, I'm gonna want a Polaris competitor.
Oh, it's gonna want a Polaris. That's true, you are a Polaris fan. You are a Polaris fan.
Even though you designed my mug to be a Raylan mug.
Hey, I got to do a proper Raylan mug now. I do have to do a proper one.
All right, everyone, we're going to take a look at some Anvil ships. Okay, we're gonna take a look at a few things. Okay, and this is sort of part of the exercise too. And there's a few of them we're gonna do this with. Okay, so the first one is the Liberator. Obviously, we've got to pull that up. The next one is going to be, stand by. Got to go to my other folder. You may be wondering, why are we doing this? It's because we need parts. We need parts and pieces to sort of start, messing around with, right? Okay, so we're going to grab this. We're going to grab the, let's let this one load. Okay, oops, there we go. Tell me how crazy that looks, everybody. Let me delete a bunch of this stuff, and you'll recognize the ship. Okay. Okay, we're gonna grab the Paladin here. Might as well grab the old Pally. And then let's grab another one to start with. Let me see if I have it. I may not. Let's grab this one. Where's VMXEO when you need him? Okay, I think I found him. Okay, we're gonna grab this one.
He's in our chat, chilling.
Okay. Why did he not have every single one of these ships prepped for me? What we're doing, everyone, right now is we're pulling up some Anvil ships.
Did you ask?
I didn't. No. I did not even briefly mention it. I can tell you all that VMXEO is working on the Raylan and Tyilui, and the Raylan is looking so good for Fleet Viewer. Can't wait to update it. Okay, so we have some Anvil ships to kind of work with, parts and pieces. We've got the Valkyrie, we've got the old Carrack here, the old tried and true Anvil Carrack. Again, I do think it needs a new pass. We have the Anvil Paladin that we're going to pull from. We have the Liberator. Now, I will say this is a hollow model for the Liberator, so all the pieces aren't separated or anything, unfortunately. I wish they were, but they're not. Actually, let me close our Argo Capital because I don't think we need it, although we might borrow some pieces off of it at some point. By the way, everyone, you have about 30, 40 minutes left to get in on that Gleam giveaway for the Tyilui. Okay. And by the way, I can't see chat very good, so Art, if anyone says anything pertinent, please point it out. Okay. And while we're doing this, I'm going to start looking for things we can possibly bring over. Okay.
Seeing some people talking about the Valkyrie Asgard engines.
Valkyrie Asgard engines. Okay. So I don't have an Asgard here. I don't have an Asgard available. I thought I did. I do have a Valkyrie though, so we can grab that. Those engines could be interesting to use, right? Are the front ones the same as the rear ones? Yes, they are. Yep, they're just scaled down. Pretty much exactly the same though. So what we could probably do is take our engines here. Let's actually see what we're dealing with here. Let's do some digging. So, okay, so we have engine front left, that right there. Those might be helpful, right? So we'll grab that and we'll go over to our sketch file here and we'll paste that in. Actually, let me grab these things, throw them in our model grouping. Okay. All right. What other suggestions? Any other people have Anvil parts and pieces that you like in particular? We're going to have to scale these bad boys up, which we will do. Yeah. Anyone else got things you like about certain Anvil ships? Call it out. Maybe we have, again, I'm just slotting stuff right now. I don't know where it will go. We're having fun with some kit bashing right now. Could have some big forward engines like that. The thrust would just blow the Hornet coming out here. As soon as the Hornet comes out, the thrust from these forward capital engines would just instantly destroy the ship. I think that's a great design feature. No, absolutely not. It pretty much forces us to throw engines back here if we're going to do that. But we'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, so we have those engines. What else have we got, Art? Art has died. He's disappeared on me. Okay, we have these engines here. We might borrow the Liberator's engines. Okay, we're going to borrow the Liberator's engines for a minute as our main engines. Again, that's
sorry, I've got a phone call right now.
all good, buddy.
I'll be right back.
Doesn't mean we're going to use these, everyone. It just means we're using them as placeholders. Okay, placeholders. Okay, looks like we got to go a little bigger. Okay, let's rotate here. Again, this is just to start scoping things out, okay? Just to start scoping things out, get some stuff sort of planned. We don't even know where all this stuff is going yet. We're really just kind of wildly designing at this stage, okay? Okay, possibly some big engines back here from the Liberator. We'll sync these up. We'll get back to those. We'll come back to those at some point. They look pretty rough now, but we'll come back to those. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Paladin top turret is what I'm thinking, or what someone is saying. Yeah, we could do possible Paladin top turret. Paladin. Okay, so let's go ahead and sort of look at some of that. Let's go back to our Paladin. Oh yeah, this big top turret here, right? Maybe as our big main turret, right? Okay, possibly. We'll bring it over. We may not
Hey,
use
brother,
it.
I got to bounce out. I'm sorry.
All good, buddy. Do what you got to do. We may not use this, everyone. We'll see. We'll just have to see where it ends up. Now we got to find this because nothing's grouped. It's okay, though. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. You know what we're going to do to make this a little easier? We're going to... Art had to leave us, but we love him. He's a good dude. But what I am going to do is turn Art's little picture. There we go. Okay, here we go. Let's just grab this. All right, I think we have everything. We will see. Okay, and we'll group this, group objects. Okay, so we should have a turret that we can borrow. There we go. Okay. Be interested to see how big this is on a ship of that scale. Let's just post it and see what it looks like. Oh, God, there it is. Little thing. Okay. Top of tower, you think? Possibly the top of tower turret? That could be pretty cool. That'd be a real beefy turret up there, but it'd be kind of fun. We're getting a little wild at this stage here. We don't totally know what we're gonna do, but that's okay. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we might do a big turret up there, right? Let me turn it around. Okay. There we go. We'll see. Will that ultimately work there? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll build a proper mount for it. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Yeah, let's see here. Let's go ahead and jot out a few more things. Let's go back to our Carrick here. Might grab these single remote turrets here. Those are probably grouped. Bear with me. Hardpoint turret remote. There we go. It's some little guns, but we might want it. We might want it. So let's bring that over. And again, another thing we'll do is we'll properly scale these things at the appropriate time. We'll properly scale them. Okay. We'll just bring these up to some of our hard points here. Again, we may change these, remove them. We'll see. We'll see. We don't know what we're going to do yet. We're just starting to get a little wild here. We're starting to get a little crazy. We'll just bring over some of these. Maybe these will be manned too. For right now, though, we're just populating them on the ship, so we get at least a sense of what we're doing here. And again, we'll probably put turrets underneath as well. Okay, we'll do stuff underneath as well. Okay, so we're starting to get some outfitting done here. Okay, we got some engines brought over. We're starting to make some headway. We'll have to account for landing gears as well, everyone. Landing gears as well. Okay, so also what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the Liberator elements and see if there's anything we can borrow at this early stage. What is this piece here? This is sort of a cowling piece. Possibly could be useful for us. Not completely as is. We may come back to that. Let's see what else we got here. I just got to explore what all pieces of the Liberator exist here. You are getting to see some sort of behind the curtain stuff here. Let's bring this over. I want to get a sense of our scale for the pad. Okay, that's wrong. Okay, mesh. Not always the sexiest thing watching this. Sorry, everyone, but hopefully you are enjoying it. Okay, it's okay. Is that Liberator pad size? No, it's not. It's not. Okay. Okay, I just want to get a sense of what we're dealing with here. Pad size wise, okay. Getting a little rough here, everyone. Again, we're not trying to make things look pretty. We're just borrowing parts and pieces to see, hey, maybe what is usable. Is there anything that's usable? Some of it may not be. We're just experimenting right now. We're playing around. We're seeing what we can do. Okay, let's see here. Let's get a few things set up here. Where is our... Nope. Oops, that's not what we wanted to do. And object. Okay. Again, bear with me, everyone. Let's rotate. Again, this early sort of messing around stuff is always a little messy, but that's how we do it. That's how I do it. Okay, and get some. I'm getting a sense with this of sort of pad area for these ships, seeing if it intrudes on things like the elevators and stuff like that. Because this ship is kind of getting a little tight in certain ways. Okay. And no, I'm not doing any like UV mapping or anything for anyone curious. At least not yet. Not yet. We're not anywhere near that point yet. Nowhere near that point. Okay. Yeah, not anywhere near that point yet. Okay. All right, so we're gonna have our top deck here with 2 forward pads. This area back here will be sort of cordoned off for the elevator system. Obviously, our elevator will move back, right? Actually, let me adjust something. Yeah, our elevator system will move back. We'll have to cut into this a little bit. It's too big. And then the bottom elevator from the bottom floor will then move up, completing that that action for those that want to do that. Okay, let me adjust this. So yeah, so you'll have the ability to bring ships up from the bottom up to the top, and if you wanted to, be kind of cool. And it kind of gives us that circular motif that Anvil ships are known for. Which, by the way, to reinforce that, I'll probably just do a little bit of fun geometry really quick here. Sorry if this is boring, everyone. Apologies. Okay, and for this, we will scale this out a little bit here. All right, let's do 76 rotation segments. Smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so sort of essentially you would have your big circular motif that we all know Anvil is pretty proud to have, or something that have on other ships. And then this would move up and down, sort of completing that Yeah, that could be kind of fun. Okay, so there's something else we got to do, though, that's a little bit messy at the moment. I got to fix where the elevator is. We're going to move it back a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to go into the top-down mode. I love messing with models when we're this just messy with them, because it allows you a lot of freedom to just quickly move shit around. Very quickly move shit around. Okay, so we're going to grab that. Is that on the top and bottom? Yes, it is. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to move this elevator back to something more like that, probably something like that. Yep, I like that. I like that. Which means we got to move our elevator system back as well. Again, we'll make this pretty at the appropriate time. And so, yeah. So our elevator will move up and down and go down to the next floor, where it will go to the ground level. We'll have to watch those. Oh yeah, and these support mechanisms will come back as well. Move that back. Okay, it's essentially that. And okay, and then, yeah, I'm going to get some questions here, everyone. Just a minute. Okay, so we'll bring our elevator back up. Okay, there we go. And the cool thing is it kind of still gives us our circular thing that Anvil does, which is kind of cool. Nice little wink and nod to that, right? Stand by. Okay, there we go. Something like that. Kind of cool. I dig that. I dig that. It's very different. By the way, these side pieces here, everyone, we're going to completely remodel those. It's not going to look like that in the end. Okay, we're going to completely redo that. Okay, so we have that. It probably will make us rethink this wall piece back here. So let's just remove that for now. We'll probably extend this whole thing out. So what we can do is to fix that is just sort of grab this stuff, really easy to do, and just, and we'll be able to build out this back end a little bit more here. Probably be some turrets back here too. So we'll just bring that back. So we have a good area for our hangar here, or our elevator. Our elevator is big enough to fit a Hornet, as we looked at earlier. Right, you can easily fit a Hornet on there or something like that to be brought up. Yeah, I dig that. I dig that. What do you all think? Good solution. Elevator will bring it down from the bottom floor. If you have ships that are below that you want to bring up, kind of reminiscent of an actual carrier, right? Except instead of the elevators being on the side, though, it'll just bring them up right through the middle, and it gives us our circular motif. I dig that. I dig that. Okay. All right, let's save there for a second, and let me take a look at some questions, okay? Okay, let me go to some questions here. We're getting there, everyone. It's not pretty yet, but we're getting there. Okay, let's see here. John Chief says, question, gun turrets directly in front and behind the tower, early World War II style. Well, we got the one on the front, but I'm sure we're going to put some additional weaponry on this in the form of like turrets just to defend against light fighters, but also we're going to want to fill this out with some PDCs, right? We're going to want some PDCs on here. So that is something we're going to get to for sure. Okay, so that's a question from John Chaves. Next question will be from Vera says, hi, says, do you like the new or old concept for the Merchantman? I much prefer the old, more sharp, jagged look versus the smooth new design. I'm personally, I like both. I think the newer design fits more with the Banu design language stuff. So I think it's more appropriate, but I do like the more aggressive angular elements of the original. I think they could bridge that a little bit, though. Vera says hi. Says, okay, nope, got that one. John Shave says, Paladin shoulders just behind the cockpit as a potential basis for the new leading edge geometry on the front side sponsons. Yeah, I mean, that could be an interesting idea. I mean, I think this whole section here end up bleeding into the bridge. We're going to have to redesign anyway. Not like fully this is essentially just a cube
You know what I mean? A cube that's been extended. So obviously we're going to do some pretty massive changes to that. Some pretty massive changes. So yeah, that could be an idea. In my notes off screen, I've wrote that down. Next, VG says, can a significant and functional Anvil signature circle element be added in the detail stage? Yes, we can. I mean, we've added something here on the rear that sort of harkens to that. We might be able to further reinforce that though, as we go. Desert Punk question: side turrets. Yeah, there might need to be some side turrets, sort of like the was it the Paladin? I could see some of that. I mean, here's the thing: we might have some little winglets over here when we're all said and done. You know, we might want to end up doing that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Next. Question from Captain Current says, can you put the gun turrets on the front sides? Yeah. I mean, they definitely could go on the sides. I'm not getting too detailed with placement on this yet though, because we're going to fully rebuild these pieces. Okay. But that's a big maybe. Yeah. We might be able to do that. Turrets on the side. Desert Punk says, question, do you have recommendation on where to start for someone interested in learning how to do what you do? Yeah, so I'm currently working in Cinema 4D just because that's the software I have up that seems to perform really well on stream because it's so light and easy to use. However, you could also use Blender. Blender is free, and that's where I would start. I know VMXEO's in the channel. He uses Blender a lot. There are Star Citizen modding Discord groups that you can join that do a lot of Blender-based stuff that I think you'd really enjoy. So maybe you want to check them out. But yes, there's a lot of resources out there to get into doing 3D modeling and stuff. My career is I do a lot of 3D modeling, but I'm more of an art director, creative director level. So I'm more overseeing artists that are doing the CG work nowadays. So I'm a little rusty. But yeah, download Blender. It's free. Cinema 4D is not free, by the way. But download Blender. It's totally free. There are tons of tutorials online to start figuring out, the program starting from like a 101 level. So John Shave says, question, circle elevator in the middle between the two medium pads. I thought about that, but then it would cut right through the bottom here where these side hangers are at. And that would then, if we want to retain those side hangers, it would really push some of them to the rear, and we have to account for the engines. And we're still going to have to build a lot more geometry in here to account for the engines properly. But we need to account for engines. We need to account for crew space. We need to account for cargo. There's still a lot of stuff on this ship we need to account for that we haven't accounted for yet. So that's something we have to do, and we haven't got there quite yet. So I think this elevator being back here to the rear may help with a few things. But we'll consider it. But I think the circle elevator being back there might be the best place for it for the moment. Architect TV says, how is anyone going to easily move ships around below and then be able to put them on the elevator to use it? Well, I think if we zoom down, like any of these ships, any of these carrier ships on the internal, like the Idris and stuff like that, you do have some ability to sort of, if the gears keep you up about this high, get some underneath here. Imagine the gears are up on the Hornet. I don't have a version of the Hornet with the gears up. You could lift off a little bit. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have to lift off a little bit, be able to maneuver it. It could also be to take a ship that lands on the upper deck and bring it down below. That could be something to do. I don't know. It could just be a fun little thing. Maybe it doesn't have the best out of box purpose, but it could be kind of cool. And we may have to think about that more as we continue to build this out. Maybe we find a better use case for the elevator. But other ships are not immune to that. We've seen it with the Idris, for example. The Idris has, a height limit on there and stuff as well. So, but so does the Bengal. There are other ships that have that issue. Okay, 1 second, everybody. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just figuring out something here.
Okay, here we go. More questions. Got a few more. Architect TV says, question, how's, nope, we just answered that one. Dark Tiger says, what if you thicken the bulkheads between the hangars and place flat PDCs between them? Bulkheads between the hangars. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. We may do that. We may do that. Okay, let me move up here. Sorry. Okay, one second here. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm wading through some stuff that's in the question channels. Dark Tiger says, with the Anvil Odin, there's no other name than Anvil Valhalla for a carrier, or am I wrong? Hey, Valhalla could be a really cool carrier name. We might have to keep that one on the list, right? Let's see here. Hagatha says, with the recent quantum fuel changes, wouldn't the primary role of a carrier, no matter the size of the carrier, be being transport? A secondary role being repair, rearm, refuel. So with the recent quantum fuel changes, maybe yes. All those do affect the carriers as well. But previously, I think with the ship fuel ranges, I think carriers really were all about repair, rearm, and refuel. And you could see CIG sort of leaning into that even with recent ships that are quote unquote carriers, the Tyilui, the Ironclad Assault, etc. I would be happy if the carriers found a middle ground between those two roles and were able to support both. Here's the thing, even with the recent quantum changes, it's very possible that CIG changes those 10 more times before 1.0. So we really don't know where carriers are going to fall in terms of their need. Are they going to be more needed to get more needed to get ships from A to B, or are they going to be, more needed to repair, rearm, and refuel other ships? We'll have to see. We don't know that for 1.0. Simon Wolf says, do you like the idea of the Anvil Bastion? I do like that name. We're going to get to an episode coming up soon where we do some name voting. Once we've fully sort of built this out, we're going to get to some name development, and we'll do some polls with some of your name ideas and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, next question. Let's see here. Okay, next question. Simon Wolf. Do you like the idea of the name? Oh no, sorry, some of the questions are duplicated. Do you like the name of the? Do you like the idea of the name Anvil Bastion? A mobile fortress uses to project force outwards and dominate the area while protecting all within. Yes, possible. The issue is, I think, finding that middle ground between carrier and full on, combat frigate / corvette, whatever role it's going to take. I mean, obviously the Idris falls into that category, but the thing with the Idris is that its carrier capability is still kind of limited, in my opinion. And while the carrier capabilities are very limited, it makes up for those in, with its armament, right? Carries a size 10 Exodus laser beam and the rail gun and all this. It's got guns for days. So it kind of strikes that middle ground, right? This, I think, because its carrier capabilities are going to be so much superior, it's pretty much got a Idris underneath and a Kraken on top. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I think because it leans so hard into the carrier role, it shouldn't be too overly powerful from a combat standpoint. It needs to be able to protect itself and protect its fighters to some degree, but we need to maintain some believability here. Okay, let's see here. Someone says, do you like the idea of the name Anvil Bash? Okay, and why does that question keep getting duplicated? Okay, weird. Praisul says, question, what do you think the next Terravan ship should be? Okay, or I had asked me that one earlier, but we didn't check it off. Okay, Fenrir says, since the Kraken is more fleet carrier style,
See the Essex class. I'm surprised you didn't aim for more of the LHD stylings for Anvil. See Wasp class. Yeah, I mean, to be totally honest with you, this one isn't super far off though. But again, I'm kind of leaning into established Anvil ships that we know as well. So again, taking the Liberator, and if you remember previously from Fleet Viewer, sort of scaled the Liberator up and turned it into the Super Liberator, which is totally a joke ship. What we're aiming for here is something that just sort of takes the Liberator concept and brings it up to carry like full Kraken carrier level. But you're not wrong. I mean, we may bring in some of the LHD styling elements to this ultimately. Again, we may blend some of that. We sort of are just doing the very basic blockouts at this stage. So yeah, still, still plenty of opportunity for that in my opinion. Hagatha says, twice the size of the Kraken, ship elevator taking ships up to the flight deck, no openings underneath the deck other than personnel and cargo, nice long deck. Yeah, possible. I mean, twice the length of the Kraken, though, would put us into a ship size category that can't land. So we're going for a ship that can land planet side. So because of that, we're going to stick to the capital hangar metric. Rage Dog says, question, I live down Cincinnati, so I'll definitely be going, but I was wondering if your announcement will get a standalone video because there are a few people I'd like to send the information to if I can drag them along. You're talking to the STARJUMP Summit. Rage, yes. And Rage, are you still in chat? Rage, chime in if you're still in chat. Let me see here. Rage. Yeah, Rage Dog, I think you're still in chat. But yes, when we do the proper announcement later this week, probably on Thursday, there's going to be a promo video, but more importantly, there'll be a STARJUMP Summit website that'll launch where you can buy tickets. It has all the information. So stand by on that. Thursday, that'll be coming out. I'll probably do a stream Thursday to highlight that or put all the information out on all the socials so you can buy tickets and stuff. Okay. So yes, there'll be a website, there'll be a promotional video, all that kind of good stuff. And glad you're going. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see you. Captain Kern says, I like the side entrance pathways because it will be faster as they can all launch at the same time. I think the Endeavor should be the same way, don't you? Yeah, I think the Endeavor will get massive redesigns anyway, but whatever its hangar module is, I think will probably take a lot of lessons from ships they're currently making now, because the current hangar module for the Endeavor does not work. It does not work. And I'm sure John Crew and other ship people at CIG probably are thinking the same. Ave Sinestris' question, once touring becomes a loop, okay, or asked me that one already. Desert Punk says, oh, nope, I answered that one already. Sorry, these just didn't get marked off, everyone. Simon Wolf says, question, space for accommodations, catering, habitation, storage, consume, where will we put all this? Yep, we're going to have to develop areas for this. So there's still parts of the ship that are not here that we need to build out. Okay, I think we're caught up on questions. Yeah, I think we're mostly caught up on questions. Thank you for the follows, everyone. I'm going to call out a few of those like I like to do. Let me back up here. I'll probably miss some, so I do apologize. Soundbite, Gwen Arts, Bax, Green Bull, Gizzy, Val Quito. Gosh, I butchered that one. Sorry. Howitz, Path Strider, thank you. Willie Sounder, Zapan Infernal. Hopefully I said that right. And then Minus Gaming told me to hydrate. Appreciate that. I'm gonna hydrate right now. Let's see here. Shizuki Kai, if you did that already, it should have already pulled your information. If they were already checked out already, then it just registers you as being already a follower and all that kind of stuff. So if you've already done all that, then it's already captured you. Just clicking on them, even if it already captures you, you should be good. It will register you automatically. So, okay, everyone, it's time for giveaway. Okay, so let's back up really quick. Let's back up before we get to the giveaway. Okay. So we have our ship here. Okay. We're nowhere near done. Okay. Before we built out a number of options on where to take this. Okay. Today we did some important stuff. Okay. We chose one of these. So we chose a ship to start building out. So we now know the direction we're headed. What this is going to allow me to do is start bringing in parts and pieces to build this out. Okay. And make it pretty. Okay. That's what we're going to do in part 3 is make this pretty. So I know the ship we're building, so I can prep some pieces. We figured out some basic weaponry. We figured out where some cargo elevators are going to go. We figured out the circular motif for Anvil, which is something that is on all Anvil ships. So we need to get something set aside for that. And we've just sort of started thinking about some real issues that something like this could have. So we adjusted the hangar metrics here, the hangar door metrics. We moved the elevator in the back more towards the rear. I feel like we've sort of we've essentially got our canvas. Okay, we've got our canvas now. Now, on the next episode, we're going to start building all this out. So what does that mean? It means we're going to take all these pieces like this that are really simple. So like this piece here, and we're going to build that out and make that look really pretty and replace it. Okay. The ship is just going to get more and more detailed as we go. And as it gets more detailed, it's going to take on a different appearance, right? Because no longer is it just going to be this giant piece right here. It may look a lot more, for example, it could look a lot more Liberator-esque, right? Where you have these pieces here that flow underneath this large panel, but then they cut in for fuel. Who knows what we might do, but the whole geometry of the ship is going to start to really take shape. Okay, but it takes a little bit to get there. We got to kind of start slowly and build it out. Okay. Okay. So we made some progress today. We also talked about some stuff. We talked about the squadron thing, right? We had to talk about that. That was something we had to talk about. So let me switch back here, everyone. Sorry. Let me turn off. Let's go back to our middle monitor. Okay. So yes, we talked about squadron. We talked, and all that stuff. I gave you my opinions on that. We did some skunk worksing. We talked about the this thing. Okay, we talked about the STARJUMP Summit. Gave you the initial information. The full download will come on Thursday. Hey, you don't get to go to Manchester? Who cares? You get to go to the STARJUMP Summit. There's going to be a lot of surprises. Okay, there's going to be a lot of surprises that I'll announce further as we get closer to the STARJUMP Summit. Ticket prices are going to be affordable, I promise. Can go ahead and tell you it's going to be about $50. $50 for a ticket. But again, the ticket guarantees you a STARJUMP loot bag, and it's going to have STARJUMP posters and other cool stuff that I don't want to mention yet. Okay. And that stuff you're only going to be able to get at the summit, like for the summit. It's not stuff I'm going to give away randomly on streams or anything like that. And there will be an option for those of you that want to support the event and donate to it, but don't want to buy a ticket because you can't come. There'll be a way to do that, and you can get a swag bag when you do that donation, which is pretty cool, and I'll ship that out for you and stuff. I know someone was asking about international shipping for that. I have to look in. I'm going to figure that out. Yes, there could be some limitations though, and I'll figure that out by later this week. Keep It Secret says, where's the summit going to be? Right there on your screen. Columbus, Ohio, September 12th. September 12th, Columbus, Ohio. Okay. And on Thursday, when I do the full announcement, I'll have the venue information, where it's going to be held at, the times that it's going to be, and you'll be able to buy your ticket if you want. All that stuff will be revealed. There'll be a portal for it. All that kind of good stuff. Okay. So if you're a STARJUMP fan, if you're a Star Citizen fan, it'll be a cool place to go. There's probably going to be some other content creators there that you all know. There's going to be some really good raffles. We're going to raffle away some really cool I don't want to go too far into it, but some cool stuff, including, but obviously not limited to Star Citizen ships. Okay, so definitely going to be some Star Citizen ships raffled, and all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, the venue we're holding it at has great food and drink as well. It's going to be a really killer time. I've just been very, very busy trying to do a lot of the organizing and stuff behind the scenes, and it's been a lot. So I do appreciate the patience. Okay. Let's get the giveaway stuff going. I do have a few more questions popping up, but we're going to get to those in a bit. Okay, let me go here. Now, Old Bosun says, did I discuss the Patreon changes? I did a little bit earlier, but I can mention those again while I'm getting the giveaway set up. So everyone knows I am doing a pretty massive update to the Patreon, okay? For those of you that are already Patreon subscribers, which I greatly appreciate. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But for those of you that are Patreon survivors now, you won't lose anything. But what is being changed is you're going to get some changes to your incentives that are stuff I can actually deliver. And I'm also going to be one of the most important things is I'm going to be bringing back a way to get custom Fleet Viewer ship liveries. And another cool thing is there's going to be one tier of the Patreon that actually gets you a free ticket to, or sorry, there's one tier of the Patreon that's going to essentially get you a STARJUMP Summit swag bag, which is kind of cool. So you'll actually get the swag bag from the summit as part of your Patreon incentives if you subscribe at that tier. I'll unveil all those, Bosun, probably later this week. So stay tuned for that. I'm still working through it as we speak. Okay. So some cool stuff in there. I'm working on it. Now that Art is helping me on the producing side of things and doing a lot of work behind the scenes to keep me organized, I can start putting attention on all this different stuff, because beforehand I couldn't do it because I was so busy making content that I couldn't actually, do all the stuff like the summit planning. I couldn't do, Patreon upkeep and stuff like that. But that's what Art being producer is helping me do. It's helping me focus on some of those other things that need to be focused on, to be quite honest with you. Okay. Stand by, everyone. I'm going to get our giveaway ready. Go ahead and click on it here. This is going to be for a Tyilui, by the way. If you haven't got in on that, the Gleam link is pinned to the chat channels. I'm going to give you all just another 5 minutes to get in on that if you can. The Gleam link is pinned to both the YouTube and Twitch channels. Now's the chance, because I have about 5 more minutes. Okay, about 5 more minutes on that. Tyilui, Willie Center says, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Tyilui. I thought they said Tyilui. Am I wrong? Tyilui? I don't even know. We'd have to watch the video on it. Willie's just being a jerk, everyone. I fell for it. Bainside, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So yes, you want to get on this giveaway, go ahead and do that now. The Gleam link just popped up via Stream Elements. Do appreciate everyone. Everyone who's been watching the streams, I did give you extra tickets, by the way, about 20 extra tickets through my snapshot system. So you may not see those in your how many tickets you've purchased thing, but your name's in there. I just use I use an Excel document to force upload those to Gleam. So just a heads up on that. Okay. Getting close here, everyone. Getting close. Go ahead and get in while you can. I'll answer some more questions while I can. Let me answer some more questions. If you have any questions, throw them down in chat. I'm going to answer those in just a second. Okay. Let's see here. All right, question time.
Let me move this out here where I can see a little better. Question time from Gin and Tonic says, where are you planning on putting living quarters? I don't see a lot of obvious space for them. We could build out a section behind that conning tower that extends out. We could also, I think there is a little room underneath the conning tower going into that superstructure on that starboard nacelle of the ship. There's a good cavity there. And we also may build those out widthwise, and I think it'll open it up for a good amount of living space. I will say that one thing we're not doing, or that I wasn't planning on doing, is where the Kraken has accommodations, private accommodations for every ship that's landed there. I haven't really factored that into this one. Maybe we'll be able to fit them in. Maybe not. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, here. Answered that question. GC Lift says, question, make the middle hangars narrower for extra small ships, and then your elevators will work. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think we're going to be able to move all that geometry around to accommodate the size 2 extra small ships and small ships. So that would be size 1 and 2. So I think we'll be able to accommodate up to size 2. Yeah, I think so. Dark Tiger says, question, Terrapin or Hornet tracker as a radar? Yeah, that's possible. We might be able to borrow that stuff. We may be able to even borrow the, hey, Dabri, hope you're doing well. We may be able to even borrow the radar dome from the Odin. That might be kind of cool, right? Borrow some Odin pieces. We'll have to see. Draken Oak Leaf says, do you think we will have transport system in this carrier that will bus people to different, or sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Do you think we'll have a transport system that will bus people to different solar systems, or will this always stay to players? I think there'll be an NPC driven ships that we can take to go from landing zone to landing zone. So I think in the future, if you're in New Babbage, you're going to be able to board a Genesis Starliner as a player, and it will just take off via NPCs and will fly to whatever other landing zone. So it might fly to Nyx or whatever, land, and you disembark. So I do think that will be a thing. Sort of a transit system. Yeah, I think we'll get that. I just don't think it's going to go to a whole bunch of places. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be, limited to just big landing zones. Let's see here. Okay, some of my questions are duplicated. Dom says, question, what if the lower hangars were angled so that ships can come in from the rear and go out through those hangars? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. I mean, there's enough room to turn around in there as well, but yeah, possibly. We're going to build out those hangars on the bottom next episode. So we're going to really start to get in deep on that. Let's see here. Question from Shinobi Trips is, have you thought about enclosing the top pads to make it look closer to the Odin and less like the Liberator? I think I'm using the Liberator as more our guide here, just because the Odin, I really feel like the Odin, I see what you're saying. We could build some sort of system that sort of goes out like the Odin, and that may be something we do. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that may be something we do. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Jason Giles says, question, do you like the Gattac Tyilui? I do. I think it's cool. I don't like it as much as the Raylan, though. I don't think it's quite as successful as the Raylan. I don't think it's as successful as the Raylan. Okay. Just a couple minutes away from the Tyilui giveaway, everyone. Just a couple minutes away. We've had a great turnout tonight. 201 viewers on Twitch, 108 on YouTube. And sorry if it didn't seem like we made a ton of progress on the ship. This early stuff is important, though, but the next episode was when we're going to start to make it look really pretty and really build it out. So you won't want to miss that. I'm going to get that up on the schedule, too, this week. We'll probably have a show on Thursday that focuses on STARJUMP Summit and anything else CIG wants to talk about. And then a show on Sunday again, that is our Skunkworks show, okay? That where we build this out and take it much further.
Fenrir says, question, would there be any way to allow a Liberator to dock in the rear of the ship, maybe play to the LHD LCAT combo? Possibly. I have to think about that. That would be adding yet another piece of completely new sort of feature. I mean, you're technically sort of talking ship-to-ship docking. It's not completely out of the realm of reality. Yeah, maybe. I have to think about that. Past Rider says, question, will the side hangers have angled covers in the same style as the Odin gun covers? Possibly. I'm thinking about that, yeah. It would make sense, and it'd be cool to bring over some of that geometry from the Odin. So, yeah, possibly. Rough Gaming says, retractable side pads from the Kraken on it. Retractable side pads from the Kraken. I don't know. I think that might be a tall order. Simon Wolf says, question, are you expecting CIG to be present in Columbus in September? I don't know. I guess anything's possible. I don't know, though. Who knows? Anything's possible. Dark Tiger says, question, is a Raptor required to sweep the deck? Always. Of course we're going to get a Raptor. Of course we're going to get a Raptor on the deck of this thing and into Fleet Viewer. That's still the plan. And like I said, VMXEO is working on the rail into the Tyilui for Fleet Viewer. Thank you for your patience. To appreciate that. Vioblight says, question, since CIG is launching a variant of everything, what will the Liberator variant be? So yeah, I think the base Liberator will be a repair, rearm, refuel ship, but I'm honestly starting to wonder if we're going to get sort of a Liberator assault. Essentially an upgun Liberator, because the current Liberator is not very heavily armed at all. I don't know what a Liberator assault would look like. Obviously, I think it would be upgunned significantly. But that's a good question. I don't know if every ship has to have a variant, but I think it's to me, it's the most likely scenario is that they do a Liberator that's like a Liberator assault. Yeah. Let's see here. Zig79 says, question, if we buy a ticket to support the summit, does that get us a raffle ticket as well? Yes, it does. Yeah, it actually gets you 3 raffle tickets because there's going to be 3 big raffles at the summit, and buying a ticket gets you a raffle ticket for all of them. You get a raffle ticket included, so you won't have to pay for that extra. Again, I'll announce all that formally on Thursday. Okay, so yes, buying a ticket gets you the raffle ticket. Hadrian says, question, do you think other folks with their ship designs, or sorry, do you help other folks with their ship designs? And if so, how would someone go about contacting you for help? Yeah, sometimes I don't mind talking ships. You can always DM me on Discord, starjump_grim, or you can contact me via email, starjumporg@gmail.com. Let's see here. Dark Tiger says, what about extending the right side, making it in like more of a Pegasus? Ooh, that's kind of a cool. We could revisit the Pegasus reference. Maybe there is some ideas we can borrow there. I think we don't want to do an asymmetric carrier. Well, it is slightly asymmetric because of the bridge placement, but in terms of the overall hull, I think we're going to keep that mostly symmetric, but we should still look at it, right? Yeah, we should still look at it. I see Sajin is saying the summit here, just got here, sorry. So the summit is going to be the STARJUMP Bar Citizen style event, but it's going to be bigger than a Bar Citizen. Okay. It's not just meeting at a bar. This is a full on like event. It's going to be 4 to 5 hours long, in person, Columbus, Ohio, September 12th. All will be fully revealed on Thursday. Okay. You'll be able to buy tickets to it on Thursday. The tickets get you a swag bag and get you raffle tickets for all the giveaways. It's going to be pretty affordable. It's like $50 a ticket. That helps us pay for a private venue. The venue is really cool, by the way. Y'all are going to love it. And it pays for the raffle prizes and stuff. So it's going to be really cool. Architect TV, yes, there's going to be a limited number of tickets. Okay. Fully announced that on Thursday, but there is a limited number of tickets because the venue can only support so many people. So yes, more info on that Thursday. Very excited to get this info out to you. La32344 says, what do you think is the next Argo ship? Refueler. I think we'll get an Argo refueler. Yeah, Argo refueler. And I think it might be a raft variant. Hagitha says, Odin variant, a cargo hauler. You never know. This is CIG we're talking about. We could get that Odin variant cargo hauler. Rage 1, yes, the date is September 12th. Or sorry, did I say September 26th earlier? I meant September 12th. September 12th is the date. It's a Saturday, September 12th. Okay. I will block these out a little better, but on Thursday when we announce it, there's going to be a website. You'll be able to buy your tickets, promo video, all that kind of good stuff. September 12th, Columbus, Ohio. Okay. Yeah, more to come on Thursday. Thank you, Blade. And I hope to see you there, Rage, if you're able to make it. To anyone able to make it, I look forward to meeting you there, taking a photo with you, doing some great raffles, having some great conversations. We're going to have some contests going on there too. There's going to be some other content creators there. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Genatonic says, are you going to stream the summit? That is a fantastic question, Jen. And by the way, everyone, that's the last question I can do tonight because I'm going to do the giveaway. That is a great question. Are we going to stream the summit? Maybe. We're still working on that. I only want to stream it if we can do it the right way. If we do a stream, I need to decide on a few things. Maybe it's private only for, maybe it's completely up. I don't know. I have to look. We are talking about it though. It is something we're talking about. We want to preserve the event to feel a little bit special for the people that are there, but I would like a way to either stream it or record it and then put it out as a video afterwards, sort of like an hour-long STARJUMP Summit video. So we're looking into it. Valid Valquito says could be a Patreon tier thing. Could be. It is something I'm in active discussions right now with a few people on. One of the things we're currently building, by the way, is essentially the STARJUMP Summit strike team. So these are people I need to be able to facilitate checking tickets when people enter, helping me set up. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Once I know more about that team, then I'll be able to lock down certain things like that. So yeah. And also internet connection, all that kind of stuff. Just figuring out all the people to play all those roles, right? And all that kind of good stuff. So more info on Thursday. I'm so excited to get this info out to you all. You have no idea, everybody. No idea. Okay, everyone. Here we go. Let's go. Let me get the giveaway stuff ready here. Bear with me. Let me go ahead and end the giveaway because it's time to end it. Hopefully you all got into it. I think we gave everyone plenty of time to get in. So we're going to have it end in 20, okay. And okay, it should end in just a second. Okay, it should have ended now. It is now complete, everyone. It is now complete. Okay, let's see here. Contagion, that will be Columbus, Ohio, September 12th. And again, on Thursday, I'll be blasting out a web portal you can go to. You can get all the information, buy tickets, all that good stuff. I just wanted to get it in your minds for tonight so that you know it actually is happening. If you were disappointed about not being invited to Manchester or something, don't worry. You can come to this, and I'll be happy to have you. Okay.
Let me go in here. Bear with me, everyone. I need to get to the giveaway stuff. Why is it fighting me? Why is it fighting me? Just a minute. Okay, why is it doing this? Stand by, everybody. Okay, I've got to do it. Just a second. Okay, why is it doing this? Okay. Hold on a second. All right. Bear with me. 1 second. Okay. All right. Gleam is bugged. And okay. I drew it, but I can't reveal the winner because it just docks them, or it would dox them. It's supposed to hide the details, but it did dox them. Let me see if I can hide that so I can show you properly. I do all these giveaways through Gleam, by the way, at least the CIG ones, because I can do it that way, and it helps. So hold on 1 second, everyone. Working on it. Bear with me. Come on, Gleam. Help me out. Yeah, I did get invited to Manchester. It was very nice to be invited. I appreciate them. But unfortunately, I will not be able to go. Okay, let's see here, everyone. We're getting ready to reveal the winner. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can do it where I can show the winner but not reveal their details. There's a way to hide it, and it's not doing it for me. Let me figure that out. I may not be able to do it because I've already done it. Okay. Well, anyways, I can just announce who the winner is. Are you all want to know the winner? The winner is Rage 1. Rage 1. You won, buddy. It was you that won, but I didn't want to dox you. your all your info, your emails and stuff popped up. So Rage 1 has won the Gatak Tyilui, courtesy of CIG. Rage, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this. Everyone, they have a way of hiding the winner's details, but you have to click it before you actually do the draw. And of course I did that and it's not working. And now Gleam has just completely crashed on me. So that's great. Actually, 1 second, everyone. 1 second. Yes. Sorry. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. There it is. All right. Now I'm seeing it. Now I'm saying, yes, Rage 1. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I've got your contact information, which I will be contacting you through, and we'll get you set up with your ship. So congratulations, Rage 1, on winning the Gatak Tyilui, courtesy of CIG. Thank you very much, Rage 1, always showing up in chat and being an awesome community member. So congratulations. Okay. So, there we go, everyone. We've had a good night. We talked about the Squadron 42 thing. We talked about the STARJUMP Summit, the STARJUMP in-person event coming September 12th at Columbus, Ohio. More info on Thursday. We did some more building on our Anvil carrier. Okay, we did some more building on our Anvil carrier. Had a lot of fun doing that. Next episode, part 3, will be Sunday, this coming Sunday. And we're going to now start to make the ship look really pretty. Okay, start to make it look really pretty. So stay tuned for that. And then I'll probably, like I said, have a stream on Thursday where I reveal all the final STARJUMP Summit information that you are all wanting. And I hope to see a lot of you there. I really do. I'm going to look for someone to raid. I think I know who I'm raiding tonight. I really hope to see you all there. Those of you that I've seen in chat for so long, it will be so amazing to meet you all in person. The times I've gone to in-person events, it's a blast. So I can't wait. Everyone, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. Make sure you check out my Patreon. Make sure you check out STARJUMP Fleet Viewer. Follow me on X. Go to the YouTube. Go to the Twitch. All that kind of good stuff. It is greatly appreciated. I do appreciate the support. I'm going to send you over to my good friends, Soul Citizens, tonight. Okay, going to send you over there. Please give them some STARJUMP love. I know they will appreciate it. For the rest of you, thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope you had a lot of fun. And okay, 3, 2, 1, and I'm sending you over to Soul Citizens. Have a great night, everyone. Love you. Appreciate you. Salute to you. Have a great night. And Twitch is off. YouTube, take it easy. Love you. Rage 1, I'll get in contact with you, buddy.